Welcome to another edition of Falco's Facts, Week 11 edition of the NFL. I mean, what a weekend. A crazy sequence of events, but for time purposes, there's only two matchups that I got to talk about today. The Raiders and the Chiefs, Sunday Night Football primetime, and then Monday Night Football primetime, the Bucs and the Rams. Let me start with that AFC primetime matchup, the Chiefs and the Raiders. I just got a couple questions for everybody. And before I start, Mahomes is now league MVP. He eclipsed Russell Wilson. It's Patrick Mahomes to lose. The award is now his. He will win it, and he should win it, and he should want to win it. His second MVP in 3 years. That's first of all. Now, back to the couple questions I got for everybody. Just be honest with yourself. You could keep it to yourself. I just need some honesty. Do you believe that you understand football? Do you think you know the game well and you know NFL football and you can really talk football? Keep it to yourself, but I just need you to be honest. All right. If you said yes, I now have a follow-up question. Did you believe for 1 second throughout that entire game the Chiefs were not going to win? Did you think when the Raiders had a 31-28 lead and handed the ball back to Mahomes and Andy Reid with under 2 minutes to go in a timeout, did you think that game was going to go to overtime? Did you think the Raiders were going to win? Or did you know Mahomes was going to drive down the field and score a touchdown quicker than you expected? Well, if you know football and your answer is, I knew the Chiefs were going to win, when the ball is in Mahomes' hand with 2 minutes left, you passed. If that was not your answer, if you really thought the Raiders had a fighter's chance, I'm sorry. You failed the exam. Here's the thing with Mahomes, why he is in a class by himself and why he has a real opportunity to be the greatest player of all time. Yeah, I said it. The greatest of all time, let alone just the greatest in the game today. As great as his skill set is, his arm strength, the way he can extend plays is like no other. Accuracy, clutch gene, of course. I mean, he does it all. Everything you could think of, he is the full package. But this is what's literally crazy, and he's like a robot. Any Madden players out there? Okay, you could relate to this. When you're a Madden player, people tend to play on the difficulty. You put it on pro or you put it on all pro. And then when you think that you could just coast through pro or you could coast through all pro, you're going to be like, all right, I want to uptick it to Madden. That's where if you're a great Madden player, you need to play on all Madden, right? So sometimes in your first few times you're playing on all Madden, or it could be a consistent thing that when you play on all Madden, you tend to struggle. Like you just can't coast through games like you usually do. And then when you see yourself struggling, you go down big, you go down by double digits, or late in the game, it's too close where you're like, oh shoot, I'm going to lose, and I don't want to lose. If you're any of those who play the franchise mode or whatever, and you don't want to lose, what do? You lower the difficulty to rookie. So you could make sure you get a win. And now what do I mean by this with Mahomes? That's Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position. Whenever the few games that he's having a subpar game or an okay game, or he's somewhat struggling, and he needs to have a huge come back by double digits, have a game-winning drive, you know he's just going to do it. He's like a robot. It's basically like the defense is playing at an all-pro, all-Madden level and just drop down to rookie. That's Mahomes playing the quarterback position. That's what he did Sunday night against the Raiders. He had a subpar game. He threw an interception his second of the year. He wasn't all that great. And then when the Chiefs needed him most, you knew he was going to come through. You knew that they were going to drive down the field and score a touchdown. Stop it. That's the difference between Mahomes and everybody else. That's why he's the league MVP for the second year. That's why the Chiefs have a great chance of repeating, and he is just clearly the greatest player in the game. With that being said, though, I really only see there's one threat to the Chiefs in the AFC, and that is their division rival, the Las Vegas Raiders. People need to start putting some respect on Derek Carr's name. Derek Carr has thrown for 2,400 yards, 19 touchdowns versus 3 interceptions. He is having a fantastic year, and it's not getting the recognition that it needs to. The Raiders are 6-4, will get a wild card spot, and all-pro running back Josh Jacobs is having a monster year, 755 yards to 9 touchdowns. The Raiders are legit, and their defense isn't that bad. I like them a lot. I don't think the Steelers are the team to beat the Chiefs. I think if there's one team that can do it, the only team that's beaten the Chiefs all year and did it in Arrowhead Stadium, that's the Raiders. That is the team that I believe could knock off the Chiefs. But with that being said, I still think that the Chiefs are the team to beat. I think that the Chiefs will repeat as long as that defense holds up. I think their run defense is really poor, but that's what the Chiefs need to do if they want to repeat as Super Bowl champions. I want to flip the script a little bit, and I need to head to the NFC, the Bucs and the Rams. My takeaway from this is the NFC is wide open. Every team that makes the playoffs in the NFC outside of the team that wins the NFC least is a Super Bowl contender. Whether that's the Bucs, the Rams, the Packers, the Seahawks, any team that gets out of that makes the playoffs, they have a legit shot to win it all or get out of the NFC rather. Tom Brady has not looked all that good in the month of November. And you guys heard me rave a bunch of times. Not only did I pick the Bucs to make the Super Bowl, I said once November, December come, the Bucs will start rolling. And that certainly has not happened. Brady has now had 2 subpar games in November, which is very unexpected. But I'm not going to panic too much. Get another poor performance. I think as long as the Bucs get in, they have a fighter's chance. And that goes with every team in the NFC, like I said before. I think the Bucs are still a 10-6 team, which is enough to get in the playoffs. We don't know what's going on with Drew Brees, how long he's going to be out. So the division, the Bucs still have a little shot to win it. But the Rams, wow, I like what they got a lot. They now have the number 1 defense in the NFL. They have the best defensive player in the league in Aaron Donald, who didn't have Aaron Donald-like performance last night. But Jalen Ramsey, he's emerged, and now it's clear as day. We thought he was the best cornerback in the NFL. Now we know he's the best cornerback in the NFL. He has been an all-pro. He has been clearly a shutdown corner in 2020. That's what I like about the Rams. And Jared Goff's having a decent season himself. 16 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. The Rams are legit. And so is every team that's getting out of the NFC. The NFC is wide open. No team has proven that they are that much better than anybody else. The Bucs haven't done it. I thought they were. They haven't. The Rams, they have some really good wins. Now the Bucs and the Seahawks, they beat both of them. The Rams look like they have a legit shot. The Packers had an awful second half performance against the Colts this weekend. But hey, Aaron Rodgers is playing like a top 3 quarterback. I'm not counting them out either. The Seahawks, Russell Wilson, a top 2 MVP candidate, even though that defense is disgusting. The Arizona Cardinals look really good. Every team, it's wide open. This is what the NFC is going to come down to wrap up today's show for time purposes. This is what the NFC is going to come down to. The last 4 weeks of the season, week 13 to week 17, the hot team is the team that you need to look out for. That and home field advantage is going to determine who makes the Super Bowl. I'm telling you that right now because no team has an edge. Maybe I'd give the Rams a slight edge because of how great their defense is, how great Jalen Ramsey's been playing, Aaron Donald. That's it. It's going to come down to who is hot. They say momentum's not a thing in sports. It is. The team that's confident, the team that's rolling, entering the playoffs is the team that's dangerous. You do not want to be struggling entering the playoffs. Just because you clinched a berth or you clinched your seed, a couple losses to wrap up the season is a really bad start entering the playoffs. That's how I want to wrap up today's show. The NFC is wide open, and Patrick Mahomes is still the greatest player in the game today and will win and should win his second league MVP in 3 years. And right there are your Falco's facts.